What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Daddy Fino Flash podcast featuring your homies. Obviously, it's me, Daddy Fino Bay Bay, and the one and only JT Flash. JT, say what's up to the people.
Hey, how's it going?
What kind of ish was what?
If you remember, I was in mourning. I'm still.
I know you in mourning, but you better up the energy, man.
All right.
This is
What's up?
Thank you. This is a huge day. I mean, not only did we get the Kawhi news at 1 a.m, okay? You know, the whole NBA changed, but we actually got our very first guest.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And this is a really great friend of mine, a brother of mine. He's family to me. You know, he's family to you too. But for some reason, I just feel like me and him, we just family. Like, I love this man. I'm not even gonna lie. And ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the one and only Darkslim, aka Mike Santana. He is from the podcast Two Nerds and an Actor. He is here to just show off his knowledge of the sports, but also, you know, just bring his normal comedic side to it. He's a great guy. Slim, say what's up to the people.
How y'all doing? I mean, we are literally related, but you know.
you know, yeah, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta, you know, sometimes you just want to hide some things, you know, just because I don't know what you about to say. You know, you may say some crazy stuff I don't agree with. I don't want to be associated with that. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, I feel you. I listen to the podcast. I've heard some crazy shit before.
I appreciate that.
He says a lot of crazy. Yeah.
He does, right, Jake? Like, this is a crazy guy.
I was talking about you, but that's okay.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I say some crazy. Look.
Yeah.
The only thing crazy that I said has actually been true. Mark Sanchez is the best quarterback that Dallas Cowboys has had since Troy Aikman. I'm just saying, most accomplished. Let me say that. I'm sorry. Not the best. He's been the most accomplished quarterback.
Let me just move on from this. Come on.
But you're right.
Later.
We do have a guest, and I think it would be wrong of me to get on something that he's not here to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, last episode, JT was in mourning. You know, he was tired of super teams, and he was scared that another super team would form in LA. And Kawhi dropped a bomb, a huge bomb. For those that don't know, or for some reason unaware, live under a rock, something. Kawhi Leonard not only chose to go to the LA Clippers, he brought along a friend known as PG-13, Paul George from the Thunder, from the OKC Thunder. The LA Clippers made a trade. They sent 5 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps. They chose Shai Alexander and Danilo Gallinari for Paul George.
And a bunch of picks.
I said the 5 picks.
Nah, they sent picks on picks on picks.
Well, you're right. I mean, you would think it was a guy asking a girl for nudes. I mean, the way they just sent picks, it was crazy. But I just got to know, what are you feeling on it? JT, are you in mourning? Are you still in mourning? Because, you know, your nightmare didn't happen. What's your thought?
On paper, though, we could still say that, especially with the latest additions they had, the Lakers are still probably the favorites to win the West, even with the Kawhi PG trade. I mean, I'm glad that let's stop calling it a super team, because that's a disrespect to what it would have been. It would have been like I don't even know what you would call it.
Well, what do y'all define as a super team? Like, how many current All-Stars do you need on the roster to be considered a super team?
Well, let's be fair. If that Kawhi trade, or if he would have went to the Lakers, not trade because he was a free agent, that would have been 3 of the top 10 players on the NBA and 1 starting lineup. That's why I'm saying I don't even know what you would call that. To me, that's beyond a super team. But I mean, to answer your original question, how many all-stars would you need? I would say to be a super team, all-stars at least 2 with some very good role players in the starting lineup.
At least 2?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. It's got to be 3. It's got to be 3. And listen, I listened to your last podcast. I mean, I listened to all your damn podcast episodes, and I got to call you out on something because you've already mentioned Dallas. You already brought up Mark Sanchez, rough, but I need to focus on the fact that a Lakers/Cowboy fan, okay, is complaining about his team trying to put together stars in order to win championships. Like, excuse me, in the 90s, were you fucking crying when your boy Jerry Jones bought a couple championships in the 90s? Were you crying when he did that?
Have you been talking to Christian?
No. I haven't spoken to Christian. I have not spoken to Christian about this at all. Okay, this is just me calling you on your bullshit.
Okay,
and then you're a Laker fan. So what are you, an OG Laker fan? Like George Mikan days going all the way back to then? I mean, you guys have been fucking collecting all-stars from all for other teams. You brought Wilt from fucking Philly. You bought fucking Shaq. You bought fucking Powell. You bought fucking Dwight Howard. Like, you bought all these big men, all these all-stars all the time. That's what the Lakers do. That's what you do.
First of all, I'm gonna ask you to watch your tone because it was pretty disrespectful.
Why? Because it was accurate?
No,
I mean, that's all y'all do. There's no other team in the history of the NBA who has poached superstars as often and as successfully as the Lakers. The one time they got called out on it was the time that I think many people agree shouldn't have happened, was when the fucking NBA blocked the CP3 trade. That's the only time y'all got denied. Well, then and now with Kawhi.
Let me ask you something. With all that stuff that you just mentioned, first of all, we're talking about the 90s. I think we could all agree that I wasn't really old enough to believe, like, to remember or see that.
I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
I want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that.
We don't want to hear that.
Okay, you don't want to hear. That's fine.
You're going to hang up the purple and gold and change it for black, then you might as well hang up the star and do the same damn thing.
Why? They don't have a super. When was the last time they had a super team? The 90s.
When they won 3. What was it? 3 out of 4? 2 out. What
you're
was
talking about 90s.
Whatever, man. You were breathing.
Exactly. You still represent that team. If I ask you right now, who's your favorite football team? Who is it?
You already know who it is. This is funny that there's some collusion here between.
There is zero collusion.
Look, JT. Look. I just feel
y'all living in the past. We're not have the same problem.
We're not living in the past. It's a continuation of what's always happened. Like, the past is the future for the Lakers. They build stars. They're a city of stars. Hollywood is in LA. Like, that's all they do. You have all the stars on the sidelines. Like, LA is Showtime. Showtime, you don't have a show if you ain't got stars. I'm sorry. And that's what LA is.
So you want to have 3 of the top 10 players in the league on the same roster?
I didn't say I wanted that, but you are a Lakers fan by choice. How could you complain that they're doing what they've always done?
But I'm saying I don't like it. I'm not complaining. I just said I didn't like it. I'm tired. How is that fair to watch?
God forbid you were a Yankee fan. Good Lord.
I know.
God forbid you would have been cursed with that trifecta.
Okay.
I'm just saying, JT. It's just weird, man. I'm sorry. If I was a Lakers fan, man, I would have been. You don't understand how much I would have been recruiting. I would have been on Instagram, Twitter every day tweeting Kawhi, yo, Kawhi, you want to be a Laker, right? Like, come home, baby. Come home.
It's sad. It's sad, though, because, you got all these guys, Kawhi and PG, going back to Cali. And, they're doing all that. And all this noise is being made on the West Coast and with LA, and understandably so for the reasons that Ruff brought up about it being a city of stars and celebs and all this stuff. It's sad that me being on the East Coast, me being, a train ride away from Madison Square Garden, how far that place has fallen in terms of the the draw, the allure, and all of the history of that basketball has in that arena, that they can't bring the same buzz here, that they can't get their act together. It's been 30, 40 years, whatever the hell it's been, to bring a quality product to the people on the East Coast. Like, we got as much clout over here as motherfuckers got over there in the West Side. It's kind of sad. But you know what? Shout out to the Clips. Shout out to Jerry West. Shout out to the Lakers making the moves that they only can make. That only they can make.
I mean, that is true. But you know what? We're speaking about LA, and we're talking about the trade of Kawhi. So, well, not the trade, the pickup of Kawhi and the trade of Paul George. How about we talk about how this impacts the NBA? Not just how it impacts JT's feelings and all that crap. Let's talk about how it impacts the NBA. So, JT, I'm going to let you talk first about this. What do you think the landscape of the NBA is right now after all this big news and all this stuff? Go ahead. Take the floor.
Are you asking the landscape in terms of where, like, how it stacks up now, like in the West especially? Is that what you're asking me when you say landscape?
Pretty much, yeah. So, do you feel like, for example, is it wide open? Do you think that, it's more competitive? Do you think now there's still one team, taking over like it's been for the last 4 years? Like, just how does the NBA change, in your opinion, based off these moves?
I think it's closer. I think, PG-13 and Kawhi Leonard make it with Patrick Beverly, make the Clippers, formidable. Definitely. I think I'd probably put them at number 2 right now in the West. Maybe, well, yeah, I'd put them at number 2 on paper anyway. But I still think, didn't Danny Green, he got picked up by the Lakers, didn't he?
He did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I
Kawhi
think
hasn't won a chip without him, so who knows?
on paper, in my opinion, if Anthony Davis is healthy, if LeBron's healthy, I know that the Lakers also got, we haven't seen DeMarcus Cousins be DeMarcus Cousins in a while, but if this is the year he comes back healthy, I think the Lakers on paper are still the best team in the West.
And for those that also don't know, they also got back Rondo.
Yep.
They got Caldwell Pope. They got JaVale McGee. They already had got Jared Dudley, Quinn Cook from the Warriors. Shout out to Duke. They did make some moves. They make some moves. Slim, I'm gonna let you take the floor right now. What do you think? How does the NBA landscape change to you?
Well, with Kawhi, I mean, I hadn't heard a damn thing about Kawhi asking for PG-13, for PG to come with him anywhere. That dropped like a fucking stealth bomb. But somewhere in the universe, in some dimension, Thanos is smirking and smiling because there is balance to the NBA landscape like we have not seen in quite a while, where it was almost a foregone conclusion for many years that, a LeBron-led Cavs team was going to navigate through the weak East, and, the Warriors on the West Coast were just going to plow their way into the finals. Right now, I think we're seeing a level of parity and a lot of teams with legit shots to win. I don't think the Lakers are such a lock as you do, JT, only because LeBron's coming off an injury year. We got to see how he's going to be off of that. And plus, we know that they're going to be team load management. I mean, especially since Kawhi made it work in Toronto. The only thing is I don't think the Lakers have the same amount of depth as the Raptors did to be able to win as many games when they had, their star taking a big rest. And I also don't know about what the defensive situation is, because if LeBron is going to be the point guard, as he said he's going to be, then that also means he's probably going to be guarding some of the backcourt players on other teams, and that could be draining for him. And we haven't seen LeBron play on-the-ball defense consistently at a high level for a long time. So I don't think the Lakers are such a lock. But you got teams with hope on both sides in both conferences. I think that it's going to be a very exciting year of basketball for a lot of fans. And I mean, the Raptors showed you don't even need a super team to win. And hopefully we'll see another competitive season and a postseason this year.
Well, now I'm gonna give you my opinions because I kind of agree with both of you in some aspects. I feel like the Lakers losing the Kawhi race. I think they made a lot of good moves to not only, obviously you can't get players to replace what Kawhi could have done for your team. JaVale McGee, Quinn Cook, all the names I said before, DeMarcus Cousins, they're not going to replace what Kawhi can do. But I think they did get players that I feel they fill their role, they know their role, and they're gonna fall in line. I think someone said that
Perkins said that about Kyrie.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's exactly what they're going to do because they're not star players, but they're players that not only have experience. Rondo has experience. DeMarcus Cousins, although he was out, he gained some experience, and we all know DeMarcus Cousins is a guy. If healthy, he's going to drop 28 and 12, no matter what. So LeBron's experience. So all these guys, they could come together, collective group, and they're definitely going to be one of the top teams in the West.
Yeah.
The Clippers, they already had a nice squad with the Beverleys, the Lou Wills, the Harrells of the world. And then you add PG-13, you add Kawhi, that's going to be obviously one of the best defensive teams in the league. They were already one of the best defensive teams last year. So to add two of the best in the league, if arguably the top two, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be tough as far as, where the seating is because, like Slim said, there's going to be a lot of low management on both teams. LeBron's going to take days off. AD's going to take days off. Kawhi's going to take days off. Even PG-13, who's had injury problems the last couple of years, nothing serious, but he's going to take some games off. And then the rest of the West, I think the West definitely improved. I've talked about the Utah Jazz, plenty of times. I love the Utah Jazz team. All their pickups with Conley, adding Bojan Bogdanovic, players like that. I think the Jazz are definitely going to jump up. And, you got the Nuggets who are still a
solid. They're solid.
Nuggets. The only questions about the Nuggets, is Jamal Murray. They need that guard play. They need him to step up to match the god that is Jokic. Jokic's my favorite player in the league. Everyone, if you didn't know that, now you know. I love Jokic's game, and I think the addition of getting Michael Porter Jr. back. I know he re-injured himself a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. That was sad.
But at the same time, I think he's going to be, when he's healthy, whew, I love that Nuggets team. So, and I mean, I'll get into more of my predictions for the standings a little bit later, and I'll let you guys talk about it. But those are just two teams right there off the gate that this West Conference is going to be so loaded, so competitive. I didn't even mention the Blazers. You still got Houston. Houston, even though they got their issues and all the reported stuff between CP3 and Harden.
Yeah, Houston's going to be team makeup sex. They're going to make it work regardless somehow and make it deep in the playoffs.
And then you got the Spurs. I mean, let's not forget about the Spurs. The Spurs are always going to be a team that's going to be competitive no matter who they got. They seem to be like the Patriots, kind of. No matter who they got, they're going to be in the running no matter what. Oh, and then of course, let me not be disrespectful. I think we got to stop acting like the Warriors and still not a team that needs to, that they got to still be reckoned with. I'm sorry, even though Clay is hurt, I understand Clay is hurt. He's out to probably February, March. You still got Steph Curry. They still got their core, Draymond Green. They added D'Lo. I'm not saying they're a favorites or anything like that, but the Warriors
Iggy, though. They lost Iggy.
They did lose Iggy. That is true. But at the same time, the Warriors are a team with under Steve Kerr and Steph Curry may be MVP next year. I mean, I think they're going to still be a team to be reckoned with. And I just love the way that the balance. I love the balance. I think it is more balanced. It's going to be tough to 1 through 8. Every team, I think, has an argument where they can win the championship.
Well, one of those 8 teams from last year that's probably going to be out of it because of the losing the parts is OKC. And
Most definitely.
like
If they made it, they'd be out
OKC,
first round. Let's be real.
yeah, they got swept. But OKC, this is decimating. This is sending a signal to the league that they're revamping, and I don't know if Russ and Adams are going to be there for much longer.
There's already rumors he could get traded this offseason.
Right, exactly. So I don't think he's going to want to be there.
Well, while we're talking about it, how about this? I think, do we all believe that Russ is going to possibly be traded this offseason?
Did we think he was going to be? No, I thought that they were going to give it another go. If anything, I thought that they would try to add a part.
No, I'm sorry. I meant, do you believe that after this trade, do you believe that he's going to be traded?
Oh, yeah. They're going to try to trade him, I think, for sure.
He's going to demand it, I think. If there's a team willing to pay him, he's going to demand it.
All right. So how about we get into that? What team do you think benefits the most from getting a Russell Westbrook? And then 2, what team would you like him to go to? What team is possible that has a team possible enough that they get Russell Westbrook? All right. And let's make it a possible trade. Let's not say, obviously, the Lakers got Russell Westbrook. A team that, that I absolutely could get him and can make a move to make this trade, get Russell Westbrook on that team. Do you guys have any suggestions or opinions on that?
JT?
Are we going to assume he's coachable? Like, is that what we're – because
I mean, you could assume anything you want. Let's say you're a GM of a team. You pick the team that you think that would be best to get him for your team to make it, to take that next step. Because obviously it's going to have to be a team that's going to, whether it be from the West, whether it be from the East, it don't matter.
Well, I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but it's just hard. It's hard for me to see Westbrook taking a next step. He's got issues. He's a incredible talent. Like, the dude's probably one of the most athletic players in the whole league. I don't know. Maybe Miami. Maybe.
That's it right there. That's it right there.
Miami.
So you think Miami, Slim? How about you?
They didn't resign Whiteside. They got a little cap space, I believe. They just got Jimmy Butler. You talk about a climate where I think a personality like Westbrook would thrive. For me personally, I've always been a Russell Westbrook fan, not just because I think he's a talent. I think he plays hard. I just don't think he's ever had a coach who could kind of wrangle in that nonstop locomotive effort in a way that leads to more winning basketball. I think that he might be able to find that in Miami, with Spoelstra, with Riley, in the stands like Sting, just looking down, lurking. I think he might be able to find it there. And then with him and Jimmy Butler, it gives him another backcourt mate. And, Jimmy, I think Jimmy's a little better at closing than Russ is. So maybe in those moments where we've seen Russ, take bad shots or get turnovers late in games where he's trying too hard, Jimmy could probably be what he was basically almost his whole career, especially in some moments in Philly. So I think Miami might be a good place for him. Plus, he likes getting his fashion off. Miami would embrace him. And I think that'd be the best place for him because I do think he's coachable. I just think the best things that could happen for him will be get hooked up with a decent coach. And hey, maybe he could even play the 2 somewhere. Maybe he's a 2.
Well, I guess I should choose my words here. I like what you said about how he plays hard. I think his ego gets in his own way sometimes when I say, is he coachable? Because I think he knows he's so talented that I think, a lot of his decision-making comes from his personal ego. Like he has something to prove. But, Miami is what I was going to say. Maybe I don't know. Miami's probably where
Well, let me throw out some scenarios to you because I've been thinking about this long and hard. Ever since this PG-13 trade, first thought in my head, obviously like many others, is OKC maybe rebuilding. And I was thinking about where would Russ fit best. And it may not be a fit, actually, but it may be what's the best trade for both teams. And at first I said the Mavericks. You already got Porzingis, you got Luka Doncic. They're gonna need that star player along those two. They could form, some sort of big three, even though they're still young. That would be a nice team, and they can make some moves with Russell Westbrook. They could probably trade, like Jalen Brunson, who's a really good point guard, had a good rookie season. Maybe some other low pieces and a couple first-rounders that they have to get them. But then I thought about one other team, and I mentioned it earlier. I was curious about, I questioned their point guards and how they need a guard to step up. I said the Nuggets. I said Jamal Murray needs to step up. But what if they had a Russell Westbrook instead of Jamal Murray? The Nuggets with Jokic, the God, and Russell Westbrook, you make a trade where you trade Jamal Murray, the salaries will match up. You throw in a couple first-rounders. Maybe trade Gary Harris along with them so, the OKC Thunder can get some scoring because they're going to, obviously they're rebuilding. Gary Harris is still young. He's only 25. Jamal Murray's only 22 years old. The Nuggets with Russell Westbrook and Jokic, with Michael Porter Jr., and I think one of the sleepers in the draft who got pushed back, who had to wait a long time in the draft, a.k.a. Bobo. Woo! 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 Woo!
Ball.
I think the Nuggets should try to make that move if possible.
Well,
now, I don't know if that's a finals team, but that definitely, to me, that puts them in contention, and that may make them an even better team than they already are. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, let me ask both of y'all this because I guess so on paper, Russell Westbrook looks good there, but do you think Russell Westbrook in reality is a good fit there? I guess is what I'm asking because I don't think that any of us cannot question his decision making and how it's lost them games a lot. Because I think he's lost the Thunder a lot of games and a lot of opportunities.
I feel I acknowledge that by saying if he went to Miami, he has Jimmy Butler there for the closeout situations.
No, I'm talking about in Denver.
But listen, look at what he's able to do with Steven Adams. This is no insult to Steven Adams. Imagine he had Jokic as his big man. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm not trying to shit on Steven Adams. I would go to war with Steven Adams. He's a loyal teammate. He's a very talented big man, can do a lot. He's not like a premier, but on a lot of teams, he would get them 10 more wins, I think. But yeah, imagine he had Jokic as his big man, even more talent and another unselfish player and a good passer, all those things on another level than Steven Adams. I mean, maybe they'd be able to be successful. Look, I don't like how James Harden plays, but James Harden in a D'Antoni system is like it's perfect for him. And let's be honest, only the Warriors have really been in their way from getting to the NBA Finals the last couple of years. Only the Warriors,
Yeah.
maybe Westbrook just hasn't had that coach. You know, even Jordan needed Phil Jackson, and Kobe and Shaq needed Phil Jackson. You know, they didn't win without them. You know, he needs his Phil Jackson.
And you think that's it, Miami?
No, I mean, listen, I'm looking at teams with money. I'm looking at a place where I think he'd enjoy it. He deserves a bigger market. Not that Miami is huge, but it's bigger than OKC. And,
I just don't feel,
yeah.
The only thing is I just don't feel that Jimmy Butler and Russell Westbrook would mesh together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely going to clash. Jimmy Butler is a no-nonsense player.
Bro, where's Jimmy Butler not going to clash? He's going to clash, but
I don't think they clash in Miami. I don't. Like, with the team around him.
Oh, yeah, because they got rid of Whiteside. The only other fucking guy who clashes.
Yeah, that's true. But Whiteside's a good player, but it's not like he's a star or anything. Like,
he could be. He's just fucking lazy.
Look, my Kings drafted Whiteside, and I was glad when they let him go. Like, Whiteside, to me, he's overrated. He's a big guy. He has improved a lot from definitely when he came into the league and got drafted, but he's not going to be anybody. He's not a game changer. I'm sorry. Never was, never will be. He's a good piece. You know, he's definitely going to help the Blazers out, definitely with Nurkic out. But when Nurkic comes back, Whiteside's sitting his ass on the bench, and he's going to be happy with it. Or Damian Lillard's going to shut him up. Because Damian Lillard is a no-nonsense player, too.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a no-nonsense player. I'll give you that. But my thing is, like, it's not like I did the capology on any of this shit.
Well, yeah.
I said Miami. I don't even know if they could afford him. Russ has 4 years ahead of him. What, 140, 170 million? It's crazy.
It's something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. The last 2 years, I think, are $44 and $47 million respectively.
But see, and that's why I was also thinking of Nuggets too, because obviously I don't know the cap stuff either. But with Jamal Murray, you know, being a very young piece, he just signed that extension. You know, so he's making a lot of money too. And like I say, he's only 22 years old. That gives OKC a really young player. They could build around him, you know, if they see him as that type of player. I think Jamal Murray has skills. I think he can be a player that he will definitely improve as he goes on. And I think he could be a really good point guard. I don't see him as like an all-star player, but he's definitely a really good piece for a really good team. He's shown moments of that. You know, even in the playoffs, although he didn't show up as much as I would have liked him to against the Blazers, and I kind of hate him for it because I lost money because I betted on the Denver Nuggets. You know, but you know, it's okay. He's, like I said, he's still young. He's a baby. You know, I think he learned from that experience. I expect him to improve definitely this year. And, you know, the Nuggets, you know, they want to improve to a team that can potentially make the finals. I don't think Russell Westbrook will get them to the finals. I'm not saying that, but at least I think that would move them closer to that opportunity. You know,
now that you mention that, just real quick shout out to they're not going to be contenders next year, but maybe in a few years there'll be something. New Orleans has got a lot of good young talent too. They don't need a point guard. They don't need a point guard though. They don't need a Russ.
No, they don't.
I'm thankful though the Lakers don't have any cap space. Otherwise they gobble him up too. He's a LA boy. He's a Cali boy.
Yeah, he did go to UCLA with Kevin Love, who, you know, actually we need to be on the lookout for Kevin Love because Kevin Love is a rumor he might be on a buyout pretty soon. But,
he'll take a pay cut. He'll take a pay cut. Go play with LeBron too. Why not?
Hear that for me.
Why not?
Yeah, but you know what? I gotta ask you guys something because you bring up New Orleans and that was pretty good because it's like you kind of knew what I was gonna, you know, you kind of knew what we were gonna get into today. It's kind of weird as a guest, but you know, New Orleans, they played a preseason game the last night actually.
Summer League.
The summer. Oh yeah, I said preseason, didn't I? A summer league game. I'm sorry. it feels like the preseason. It feels like the NBA season's right like next week. Like it's never this hype for the off season of the NBA. It's really not. I mean, after like the first 2 days, it's like, okay, all right, we're good, and then it slows down. But it just seems to hype up every day this year. It's something weird. But this summer league game, Zion's first game, it was Zion versus RJ Barrett. I don't know if you guys caught a glimpse of, what Zion did or what RJ did, but I think Zion played decent, for his first game. Unfortunately, he did get, I wouldn't say he got hurt, but he did have like a little injury, a knee to knee, where now they ruled him out for the rest of the summer league. JT, what'd you feel about Zion? Did you catch some of that game? I know it was a late one for you.
I saw him yank that ball from the dude's hand on that rebound and dunk.
Kevin Knox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like disrespect him like, he wasn't a rookie. But I thought he showed a lot of promise for coming in the league. Yeah, like you said, it's a shame he got injured and they're ruling him out.
Yeah, he's out for the rest of the summer league.
So we'll have to wait till tip off if they let him play then, depending on how serious it is.
Nah, I don't think it's that bad. I think it was just a knee to knee. They're just being careful, definitely with his history. I think he'll be ready to go day one in October. October is usually when the league starts. He should be ready to go. I have no concerns about that. What you think, Slim?
He shot 4 for 9, had a bunch of dunks. What was it, 5 for 11? I don't know.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It was a lot of dunks. He had that really crazy, impressive dunk in the warm-ups that had the Twitter sphere and the internet going crazy.
I did. I went crazy. I was watching that live.
Made that look real simple. It made a lot of people forget about the jokes they were making about how heavy he looked around the middle, saying that he already dipped into that crawfish and shit in New Orleans. But nah, he was more impressive than RJ was for sure. But it's only summer league. It's only early, and yeah, they have a long-term investment in him, so they're gonna sit him out for the rest of it. He showed in a very brief, time on the court that his physicality is something you can't coach that. He manhandled that ball away from Knox, like JT mentioned, and his physicality is not a question. It's a question of how's that going to hold up over the course of an NBA season, and can he add to his skill set so that he's not just relying on two-handed dunks, being an undersized player as he is.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm the Duke fan of the group, and watching Zion and RJ, I did shed a little tear. I loved them both at Duke.
Oh boy!
Look, JT, I'm sorry.
You're the only one that can fucking cry, JT.
Exactly right. Like, can I have a moment? I mean, they are very special to my heart. Zion is arguably one of the greatest Duke players that ever played. Even though he didn't win the championship, and that's due to injury. I don't care that he came back. He was still hurt. Okay? We don't win the championship. But I will tell you this. I watched this game, and I definitely, I had to tune in because, like I said. And Zion, he looked decent. I was actually a little shocked by it. I actually expected him to be a little worse than he played. Only because I thought they actually did exactly what I thought they'll do. I wasn't shocked. The very first play, okay, they did an off-screen. He got a screen away from the ball and went for the alley-oop immediately. That was like the first play of the game. And I guess they did it to, hype him up and also hype up the crowd and all that. And I didn't expect that, honestly. I thought that they'll try to ease him in, so that's why I
No.
thought he'll play worse. But
They went on the right side. They went right for that screen and roll. It was sloppy, but it worked.
exactly like it was. I was shocked by what they did, but at the same time, he did show some flashes with his dunks and all that, but they really didn't use him the way you should use Zion. I felt they used him as a showcase instead of just using him as a basketball player. Letting him, let him show his dribbling ability. Let him show his passing ability. That's a really underrated skill of Zion. He can actually pass the ball. He used to play point guard when he was younger, which is shockingly. Yeah.
But I mean, can I ask you a question about that? From what I've
Yeah.
seen, you've seen way more of Zion than I have. But for me, his passes in transition are a lot more impressive than like his half court, set passes.
No, that is true. And that's definitely a true statement. But at the same time, he has shown that ability that he can pass off the half court, in the half court. I think that as long as the system fits him, and that's the one thing that we have to – I think that's the one thing I'm going to question about New Orleans is that system of how they use him, because you're going to have Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is a passer. Are they going to have Lonzo be, obviously he should be the primary passer because of his great passing ability, but at the same time, sometimes you got to – I would like them to use him in like a Draymond Green type role, or sometimes Draymond Green bring up the ball and set up the offense, stuff like that. I would love to see Zion in that situation.
You think that Zion now has the skill set to do that in the NBA already?
I think that because he's so young, I think the only way he's going to get better at it is if you try it. So what if he fucks up early? Let's see what he can do. Let's unleash him, as Skip will say. Unleash! You know what I'm saying? Like, let Zion play and let him roll, let him roll around, let him do different things.
I agree with you. I agree with you. They're a young team. Let them develop. And, in 4 years, the Lakers should pick them up when LeBron leaves.
But, JT, let me ask you something. Because you've seen a lot of Zion, right? You watched him. Well, what do you think, besides his dunking, what other skills do you think that would translate to the NBA from what you've seen in college? Like, what is something that you think that they should incorporate in their offense using Zion in New Orleans?
His post moves to the dunk in college where he just out muscled everybody, and down there he was very good at that. I think Slim already had mentioned his transition game, which was where I thought he was probably at his best. But I liked his defense in college, when he would play defense down there. But, you mentioned you want him to be kind of like a Draymond Green role. Not necessarily that Draymond has a good shot, but he has a way better shot than Zion. Zion would have to develop some kind of shot.
I do agree with that. He shot his first three actually that he attempted. I'm sorry, Zion, I love you, but don't do that again. Oh my God. I almost, honestly, when he shot the ball, I was like, oh shoot, they got two Lonzo balls. Oh man, it looked that bad.
I think he could develop one. He's definitely young enough, and if somebody got up in there and coached him up on it, he could develop somewhat of a jumper.
If Blake Griffin can, he can. So,
but
that's true.
I liked his post game in college because I think he's a lot quicker than people, at least in college, were wanting to give him credit for. I think people kind of know now. But he also could muscle his way down underneath the basket, but he usually ended up dunking it most of the time. So we already touched on his dunks.
And Slim, what do you think about RJ? How did RJ look to you?
He had a terrible shooting night. But it's summer league. Like you can't go by their first games in summer league. But
He's also in a
hopefully-
bigger spotlight, I think, than
Oh
than
yeah, there's
Zion.
ironically there's way more pressure I think on RJ than there is on Zion. Zion's there with other young talent, whereas RJ, people are looking at him like he's gonna be a savior or something for Knicks basketball.
Yeah, he's the face of the Knicks. Like
Yeah, like relax.
Hold on. Now I got to get on you. Hold on. What do you mean that RJ has more pressure?
Because Zion was hyped. No matter what team Zion would have went to, he's the number one pick. College basketball player of the year. All this hype, blah blah blah. But he went to a New Orleans team, and that city just lost an AD. They got a Zion, but they surrounded him with other young talent, with more promise, and they've at least made the playoffs in the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the Knicks, which are so fucking desperate, they got nothing in the free agent sweepstakes. They did pick up some nice pieces here and there, but the only thing they came away from when they were hoping to get Zion and KD and Kyrie is Barrett.
What they have, the fourth pick in the draft.
Yeah, so that's like all they came away with when all these people were posting Photoshop images of Kyrie, Zion, and KD in fucking Knicks uniforms and shit. We've seen those. They got none of that, but they got Barrett. And, that unfortunately, the full weight of Knicks' hopes and dreams, I feel, are being put on this kid.
Well, see, and I totally disagree with you on that. Although okay, let me say this. I agree with the part that, yes, all the hope and stuff is on RJ, but when you look at the overall pressure, I don't think it's even close that the pressure is all on Zion. I mean, just let's just think about it. Let's go back to LeBron James. I mean, that's what Zion's really being compared to as far as the hype. No one's ever in the NBA history has gotten the hype that LeBron James received until a man named Zion Williamson came along. And now Zion is getting the hype of what LeBron got. And you can argue even more. I mean, Zion, his skill set or what he can potentially be is off the charts. I mean, obviously, I don't think that's anything that anyone can disagree with. But although, yes, he did go to New Orleans, which is a very, low market team, he still has the weight of, I think he has the weight of the league, not just New Orleans. He has the weight of the league on his shoulders because he is being looked upon as the guy that's going to carry the NBA for the next 15 years, like LeBron has done for the last 16. And I think that's way more pressure than the Knicks on RJ because the Knicks fans and everyone else are expecting what from the Knicks? Absolutely nothing.
Well,
No. Rough.
Now.
Knicks fans, no. Knicks fans are delusional, first of all, by the nature of them still being Knicks fans. They might say that they're disillusioned by ownership and all this stuff, but they're still selling out the damn Garden, and they're still overpaying for cable packages to make sure they can catch the Knicks games. Trust me, I'm over here in New York. I know it.
I get that, but
I heard what you said. I'm saying Knicks fans are looking at Barrett with like this gleam in their eye, this glint that, maybe it was fate that we got you and just you. And
yeah, but that's not delusion. That's hope. That's hope.
Yeah, man, but come on.
No,
that's wishes and dreams.
Bro, come on.
To your point, Rob,
JP, what are you saying?
No, you're saying that what do Knicks fans expect? They expected a lot. There was reports that KD and Kyrie were coming to save them. They before the draft. So now they're clinging on to what they have, which is RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that's not added pressure to RJ because
What do you mean?
that's like no, because you have to. That's a consolation prize. It's like, okay,
Exactly.
we didn't win
Exactly.
for-
He has the burden of being
but
a
that's not a
consolation prize
no. What I'm saying is,
in
look,
New York.
that's not added pressure. If anything, that's like saying, all right, look, we didn't get you, we didn't get KD, we didn't get the first place, but yo, we at least got third. Hopefully, third place could be a first place, but we're not. It's not like they're saying, "Oh, RJ is the first place guy," or "He's the guy to lead to the future." They're hoping he can, but they're not.
My bias is probably this. Then it's just I hear what you're saying about Zion. I like the kid. He's fun to watch, but I have so many reservations about his body being able to hold up to the style of basketball right now that he's bringing to the table, and I'm hoping he can develop more skills so that he's not just relying on that amazing physicality that he has, but because it's coming in a package in a size of a basketball player that we really haven't seen, except like Barkley, but obviously his explosiveness is more than Barkley. My point is this: I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain. Like, okay, knock knees again, sitting him out. All right, hopefully that's the only bump in the road physically that he has in his rookie season. But I'm not looking at Zion like you're going to be the next ambassador for the entire league when, in 3 or 4 years when LeBron is out. But I'm not looking at Zion like that.
Crazy.
I'm not looking at him like that. I think maybe he can be, but I don't think he's going to I think he's going to be his own player that we've never seen before. I don't think necessarily is that he's picking up a torch. I think if he's going to make a mark in this league, it's him paving a road we have not yet seen. And that would make him truly a transcendent talent and player like people are saying that he is.
Go ahead, JT.
Well, I was just gonna say to Mike's point, if he mentioned his him knocking knees and him being able to handle that. Look who he's ripping the ball from last night. You think he's doing that in regular season to some of these guys? Do you think they're just gonna take that? I don't know.
Well, first of all, hold on, because let's not just shit on Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox he's entering his second year. He had a pretty good rookie season.
Kevin Knox had a good season. Had a good rookie season.
He had his bumps and rolls, but he was pretty good for the Knicks, okay? And he's a big boy. So it's not like he's not like a point guard or anything. I believe he's 6'8", whatever. He's a big boy. He got to be at least 2.
Okay, time out. Let me just ask you this: is he doing that to Boogie Cousins or Draymond Green? Are they just going to sit there and take that?
I don't think they – look, I'll say this. I don't think they'll take it, but they may not have a choice. Because Zion is bigger than – I think Zion's definitely bigger than Draymond. He may be bigger than DeMarcus Cousins. I'm not sure about the weight comparisons, but he's pretty close to the size of DeMarcus Cousins. The only thing he's shorter, but weight-wise and muscle-wise, I think he has more muscle than DeMarcus Cousins.
I'm not saying that I'm not trying to say they'd fight. I'm just saying I don't think that those guys that he runs down the court. They're they're gonna they're bumping him back and things like that. And he wants to play rough like that. I'm just saying there's a lot of players around the league that I don't think will take to that lightly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's true. And I understand your point, and it's a good point. But like I said, they may not let it happen, but they may not have a choice. And that's just the thing. But I do want to say one last thing about this, because Zion, I want to see, I'm trying to think of a way to put this. All right, pretty much this. If RJ ends up being a bust, and I hope that doesn't happen, RJ being a bust is not going to be a bigger surprise than if Zion is a bust. If Zion ends up being a bust, he will be the biggest bust in NBA,
twice.
not only in NBA history, Zion will be the biggest bust, I think, in arguably sports history. And
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think with all the hype that Zion has gotten since before he even was in Duke.
Listen, I mean, Zion's being compared in terms of hype and impact to like LeBron.
It's already.
But there's been some NCAA quarterbacks who motherfuckers were comparing to like like legends of all time. You know what I'm saying?
No one's
coming to Bart Stars and shit.
No one has ever gotten the hype that Zion Williamson has gotten. You have to understand that you're looking at back then, but today, in today's internet age, where we have,
Let me ask you a question. If Zion Williams has a career similar to Blake Griffin, is he a bust?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. If Zion has a career similar to Charles Barkley.
Wait, hold on. Let me change that. I'm sorry. It's not. I wouldn't say bust. I would say it would be disappointing.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, Zion's ceiling may be higher than everyone else's from this draft, which is understandable. But if he's able to put together a career that's like a Barkley or to a lower extent a Blake Griffin, I'm like, okay, good.
If Zion is anything short of a Hall of Fame player and transcendent player, I think it's a disappointment.
All right.
I'll say that. I think that, and I'm saying that as a Duke fan.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, we got that.
You know, like, I think that is the hype that everyone has put, the pedestal that Zion is on. They've claimed him to be a transcendent player already.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of that is attached to his
college
physicality. I feel like a lot of that is attached to his spectacular dunks and his athleticism, but I don't think it's tied to his basketball skill.
Yeah, his skill.
Like I think he has a lot to work on in order to have that transcendent NBA career you're talking about.
No, I agree with that. No,
yeah, so that's why my hype level for him is not as fervent as yours is.
That's your hype. I'm not saying. Well, this is the thing. I'm not saying that's where I see him being. I'm just saying that the hype that he's receiving from everyone else,
from a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people.
Let's be fair then. Where do you see Zion being then? Because you're saying that's not where you see the hype. Where do you see him?
I think Zion. To answer your question, JT, Zion. I think that if he works on his 3-point shooting, and he develops a shot similar to like a Giannis situation. Now, Giannis, I think you can argue it's going to be hard.
I don't think that's fair. That's not even a fair comparison.
Just let me finish. I will get to the point. Okay, Giannis and not RJ. Giannis and Zion, I feel like are in a similar boat. Now, Zion obviously had more hype than Giannis coming out of college. Giannis came out of nowhere. Okay? But they're in a similar boat that if they each develop a shot, they already have the athletic ability to do. I think that Zion has the athletic ability to be a great defender. I think he has the athletic ability to obviously be a great, driver to the basket, finishing at the rim. He can do that already. But if he can develop his handling even better than it already is, I think he's already a good passer. So if he develops a shot, he definitely has a chance to be one of the best in the league.
Dude,
can I give you my opinion?
I don't think that's fair. Like, first of all, you're comparing you're saying that, both of them need to develop a shot. But that's not fair because we've seen Giannis win an MVP in the NBA and develop over the last couple of years in the NBA to be at that level. And yeah, we could say all he needs is a shot. Zion, we haven't seen him do anything yet in the NBA.
But we're talking about potential.
Yeah,
and I think
but that's not fair because Giannis
it is fair.
How is it fair? So you're saying that Zion is an MVP caliber player already?
No, I say he has.
So then he's okay. No. That's not even fair because Giannis right now, Giannis's potential, he's at MVP caliber level already. That's leaps and bounds.
I'm talking about from day one. No. Zion coming out of college. Hold on, just listen.
Just let it die. This is the Sam Darnold argument all over again.
No, it's not. Zion coming out of college is already miles ahead of what Giannis was his rookie season.
All right, but for you to say that you think that –
just answer that.
For you to say that you think that Zion is going to be able to play defense
like Giannis.
That's insane. Like
Giannis is a top-5 player right now.
Giannis is a fucking pterodactyl. He's not – he descended from Mount Olympus, from Greece.
That's not what I said. That's why I said, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not comparing the two. I said they're sort of in the same boat.
That's called a comparison.
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's called a ship manifest. You put them on the same list, on the same vessel.
Yes, just put them on the same manifest. They're in the same thing as far as is Zion's potential is that if he gets a shot, if he develops his shot, he has potential to be the best in the league.
Okay, but you can't say that. You cannot.
He hasn't done anything in the league yet.
Why can I say that his potential is that? That's why I don't understand.
Okay,
bro.
Time out. You can say he has potential, but you can't say potential and then name another top-5 player in the same breath who's already been doing it in the NBA. Well, Zion hasn't even been on the court.
Giannis doesn't have a shot.
Well, is Giannis a top-5 player right now? Is Giannis a top-5 player right now in the league?
Yes.
Okay, point taken. This is the Sam Darnold argument all over again.
How is it fair for an NBA draft on ESPN when they're doing the NBA drafts, right? And they say a player has been drafted. They say, oh, his NBA comparison is Damian Lillard. I'm doing the same thing.
That's in play style. You know, that's usually more about style and skill set than it is just potential.
They're not saying coming out of the draft he's going to be Damian Lillard.
Can you revisit this point after Zion at least plays one NBA season? I know y'all saw him knock Kevin Knox to the fucking ground and dunk the ball afterward like a grown man, but
I don't think you guys understand what potential means.
It's like saying, JJ Redick has the potential to be the NBA's all-time greatest shooter.
That's not when he came out.
If he's more accurate on his threes, he could be Steph Curry. He could potentially.
Right. He doesn't have the potential, Ruff. He doesn't have the potential.
Because you opened the door. When JJ Redick came out of college, he definitely damn sure had the potential to be one of the greatest shooters of all time. So what are we talking about here?
But when he played one summer league game, I don't think anybody was saying Ray Allen better watch out.
But I'm not going off of the summer league game. That's the thing. You're acting like I'm going off of a game. I'm not. I'm just talking about from his skill set, from what I've seen.
Okay.
In college,
it doesn't matter where. We're talking about potential. Potential doesn't happen yet. It hasn't happened yet. That's why you say he has potential, because you're going off stuff that hasn't happened yet. You're saying his ceiling. I'm saying his ceiling is just like a lot of people, a lot of experts. They're saying his ceiling is to be one of the best in the NBA. So what is the difference from what I'm saying versus them?
Because
I'm saying the same shit.
To a top 5 player in the league.
No, I'm saying he has. They're falling in the same thing. If they
You're skipping several steps though to even mention them in the same breath. Let's see Zion. Let's see how Zion's game as is translates into the NBA. Is he going to be bullying people around? Is he going to be pushing them around? Is he going to be scoring consistently at a high, as you know? Can we see how that's going to translate first before we start saying he's a jump shot away from being an MVP caliber player? Like,
I didn't say he's a jump shot away. I just said he has to. I always said he has to develop his skills. If you've been listening.
No, I'm gonna replay the tape for you. You just said, and I quote, "If he develops a jump shot, he could potentially be the best." Yeah,
he has potential to be that. Yes,
that's what I said. That's what I just said. You said.
But I also said earlier too that he still has to develop his other stuff. So what are you talking about?
I'm saying for you to mention that's like pulling a kid off the street who you saw made a really good sandwich and saying you have the potential of being a Michelin star chef.
That's not the same.
Work on everything.
That's not saying.
And then you too.
Right now, Zion is one of the best finishers at the rim already, just because of the way he can.
Can he get to the NBA first? Like, wait.
First of all, you're acting like the players that he was playing against, the Knicks. They were playing their NBA players. A lot of their rookie
summer league game.
It was still rookie and second-year players.
But I'm saying it wasn't like there were a lot. It was a fucking earthquake. They didn't even finish the game. That's how serious it is. That's how serious.
Can I interject?
Look, it doesn't matter. Look, I'm tired of you guys.
Listen, look, I get it, Ruff. You're a Duke fan, and you want to see him do well. I get it. I get it. Okay.
I'm saying this.
I'm not rooting against Zion.
NBA expert has been saying. I don't understand why it's so fucking like it's like I'm saying something crazy. I'm saying the same shit that everyone has been saying.
Everyone.
I haven't seen the NBA experts say Zion, like Giannis, is a jump shot away. ...
First, I didn't say that. I said he needs a jump shot, and I also said earlier he needs to develop his other skills.
Just saying, you're not gonna be able to jump over a double team or a zone.
His potential is to be one of the top 5 players. That's why I said it would be a disappointment if he doesn't reach that level based off all the hype. I don't understand what's so hard. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Look, we talked about New Orleans. We talked about Zion a lot. They are in the Western Conference. And we started to show off talking about how the West, you know, it's more balanced now, at least to me and Slim. JT feels the Lakers are still miles ahead, apparently.
No. I said on paper. I said on
paper, whatever you say. You're the Laker fan, of course you're going to say that. You know.
Listen, he's just chomping at the bit. He hopes Zion lives up to the potential. Like I said, the Lakers will just pick him up in 4 years. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. You never know. He does want to leave. I think actually Zion was more likely to go to New York, but then that's gonna be crazy. But one last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now, earlier today, I did a prediction for each conference, each of the standings. So it's my summer league prediction, okay, based on what has happened so far. I wanted to get your opinions on it, to see, you know, just how you feel, see if you're on my same boat. If not, let me know, okay? I did one for the Western Conference, did one for the Eastern Conference. I'm going to start with the East, and then we'll go to the West right after, all right? So this is what I have right now. My standings from 1 through 8. I have the 1 seed in the East being the Philadelphia Sixers, 2 being the Milwaukee Bucks, 3, the Boston Celtics, 4, the Indiana Pacers, 5 being the Brooklyn Nets, 6 being the Toronto Raptors, 7, and this is a surprise to some people, the Atlanta Hawks, and then at 8, the Orlando Magic. I'll let you guys, the floor is yours to give me your opinions on that so far.
Where'd you have the Celtics again?
I have Celtics at number 3.
Orlando and Atlanta are definitely teams that have a lot of what was the name of that ship? The SS Potential. Yeah, they definitely have
Captain Ruffin with the FSS Potential.
The Magic did make the playoffs last year, so just so you know.
They did. I'm agreeing with you that they are teams that are on the upswing.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't know if that was a slight or not, so go ahead.
Hey, man, ain't nothing to slight. Ain't nothing to slight here. It's all facts. I hope that Philly can develop into what we all hope they can be. You can make the argument that they, too, are a jump shot away from greatness. Looking at you, Ben Simmons. I don't know what's going to happen with the Celtics. I don't know. There's a cloud over that team. You talk about players with pressure. Jason Tatum this year, now that so many things have been removed from that team, if he doesn't have the fucking like all-star caliber types, Horford was a huge loss for them.
What is this?
I'm just saying.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. Tatum needs to have a big season. He's had time to develop. Enough is enough. Put up or shut up. So that would be the one shaky pick, because I think depending on how well he plays, there'll be a top 3 team or there'll be a bottom 3 team in that 8.
I'm tired of you. Go ahead, JT.
I liked your list. I like the 70. You said I had 76ers at 1, right?
Yes, I do.
Bucks at 2, Celtics at 3.
Yes, sir.
I think the Celtics are going to be pretty good. I don't think there's a cloud over them. Yes, Al Horford was a loss. I don't know if they'll change from your order. I might put them at number 4. I think they're gonna need
Bucks at 1. I got Bucks at 1.
Nah, the 70. I think the pieces the Sixers added, even though they lost Jimmy Butler, I think makes them a better team. Joel Embiid, hopefully, is healthy. They were basically a shot away from the finals, or not the.
They were a shot away from overtime to hopefully get to the finals. Relax.
But yeah, I have them at 1. I think that they're the best team.
Okay.
But the Bucks are close to. I think in a 7-game series it would go to 7 games.
Well, look,
who's your East dark horse? RJ Barrett's Knicks sneak in 8th seed.
Who are you talking to?
Talking to both of you.
Well, the East.
I'll take the Heat.
Well, dark horse as far as making the playoffs, or dark horse as making noise.
I was just talking about squeaking in.
Yeah, like they could squeak in.
I don't have one. I think that's the 8th. That's it.
Oh, I
don't think
it's
maybe the only other team, I guess, if I had to pick one, maybe you know what? No, fuck it. You know what? I am gonna pick the Knicks. I'm gonna pick.
That's all it took, huh?
All potential, right?
Look, if potential.
Your bias is showing this episode, bro. Your bias is showing hard.
If I'm gonna show potential, I'm just gonna go with it. Alonzo Trier is gonna lead the Knicks to potentially make the playoffs. Alonzo Trier. Let's go. Okay. And just real quick to speak about your take on my list for the East standings, Slim. Don't you ever disrespect Jason Straight Facts Tatum, okay?
Who named? I think you're the only one that's calling him that.
I call him
real.
Jason Straight Facts Tatum. He is the Truth 2.0, and I don't mean that as he is an upgrade. Not only is he's not just an upgrade over the Truth Paul Pierce. He is way better than what Paul Pierce is, and I am telling you that. I mean it. That is a statement. That is a fact. No, it is straight facts. Jason Tatum will lead the Celtics, and I already put this on a video on Instagram. Jason Tatum will lead the Celtics to the finals this year. Anyway, moving on.
From the 3 seed.
From the 3 seed. He will lead them to the finals. Moving on to the West real quick. My preseason predictions. Shut up, JT. My West predictions so far, I have at number 1 the Utah Jazz, number 2 the Nuggets, 3 the Clippers.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. Wait, did you hear this again? You're reading it upside down? You dyslexic?
No, I have my reasons.
You got the Jazz at 1.
Can I finish my list?
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. That's all.
I read it for you because obviously you came here. Number 1, the Utah Jazz. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. Number 3, the Los Angeles Clippers. Number 4, the Golden State Warriors. Number 5, the Los Angeles Lakers. 6, the Portland Trail Blazers. 7, Houston Rockets. 8, the San Antonio Spurs. Now, would you like me to explain my reasons real quick?
Were you on drugs when you made the list?
No.
I'm not gonna disrespect you like that, Ruff. Yeah, I would like to hear.
First off,
why you wrote all these mistakes in a row.
First off, you mentioned this several times in your first soliloquy. Okay, shout out to Stephen A. Smith using his word. Okay, you mentioned a word.
His fucking word.
Well, look, he's the one that makes it famous. Okay, so we're just gonna. People only know the word soliloquy because fucking Stephen A. Smith.
You're right. Fuck Shakespeare. Go ahead. Go.
Anyway, the Lakers and Clippers are going to be using a term known as load management a lot during the season. They're going to be teams that they're not going to really care about the regular season. They're going to take a lot of games off, which means they're just going to be trying to make the playoffs. After that, then they'll play for real, which means that a lot of the times it's going to be mostly their backups or just their role players playing most of the games, which means they're not going to win that many, which is why in the standings, they're going to drop. Although I'm not putting this in the order of all the best teams. I'm putting this in what I think the standings will be. The Jazz are going to try to fight for home court throughout the playoffs because, as I said in the last episode, and JT, you agreed with me, the Jazz are one of the best teams at home.
Historically, the hardest place to play.
And historically, one of the hardest places to play. So, because of that, I think the Jazz are going to go and steal the number 1 seed. And the Nuggets, last year they were the 2 seed. I expect them to continue that. Go ahead, give me your quick thoughts on that.
The whole list or just that part?
The whole list.
I put the Jazz at number 3. I don't think the Lakers are going to load management that bad to number 5. I probably put the – yeah, I am. I'm going to put the Clippers as the 1 seed.
Okay. Slim?
I don't know where the Lakers will finish. LeBron's going to super team jump to the new Monstars team.
You had the Warriors at 4?
Actually, yes, I do have the Warriors at 4. They're going to be the top team of the West.
I don't think they're going to be that high. I think they make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be that high. Okay. Because we really don't. I'm hoping Clay comes back as early and healthy as people are projecting, but you don't really know. And I don't think defensively that team is going to be able to play as well as they have, because low key they've always been a very good defensive team, at least help defense, not like one-on-one defense. I think that has passed them by, and I feel like the upgrades to the West is going to cost them games where they might have normally been able to win. And you said earlier you think Steph Curry is going to be like MVP, though he does have the potential to be that for sure. I think it's because Clay's not there. When he won that unanimous MVP, Clay was there. I think that his efficiency might go down and might suffer a little bit, especially if games are a little tighter than they're normally used to playing.
He's forced to take shots.
Yeah, he's going to be forced to take shots. And, I mean, if there's anybody in the league that can make bad shots, it's Steph Curry. But I don't think they're going to be as high as a 4 seed next season. So that would be the team that I'm like a little sketchy on your placement.
Okay.
As far as Utah, Denver, I can see Denver being a top 3 seed for sure. Utah, I don't know. I know they upgraded their roster, but they got a lot to prove. Last season, they had expectations going into the season based on their playoff run the prior year, and a lot of things fell flat. So I feel like they have a lot to prove, and I think that LeBron and the Lakers, like JT mentioned, they will load manage, but I don't know if they're going to load manage to the point where they're the 5 seed. I think they're going to want home court. I think the Clippers are going to want home court. Making those big moves, making those investments that they made, they're going to both want to have that ability to have the home games for the playoffs to make that extra cash and get that extra pub.
Well, I'll just say this. I think we both – well, I'm going to say we both. I would say I think that we are all in agreement that the Lakers and Clippers are the best 2 teams, correct? In the West?
Yeah, on paper.
On paper, yeah.
Okay, on paper, yes. So
the Lakers are only go as far as Anthony Davis's health will take them. That's in my opinion.
That's fine. But if
I don't agree with that, I think it's as far as LeBron's health would take them.
I think that one factor you guys are not thinking about is the fact that if the Clippers and Lakers believe they're the best 2 teams in the West, that if they believe they're going to the Western Conference Finals, it doesn't matter who has home court.
I know, it's playing the same stadium. I understand that.
They're not going to care as far as seeding.
But from 1 to 5 is a big jump.
1 to 5 is a big jump. And listen, you want to talk about egos? No one has bigger egos in the NBA than the owners. And
Steve Ballmer, the owners care more about championships, and B, yes, the Clippers will like home court advantage against the Lakers, but
of course they would.
Let's be honest, during Clippers home games, the Lakers are still going to have more fans. So it doesn't matter.
I think it matters organizationally in the same way that the Brooklyn Nets hijacked New York from the Knicks with the move that they made. I think that Steve Ballmer's making a power play to try. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be successful, but this is as close as he's ever gotten besides, Lob City being, there with Blake and them.
That's a totally different situation.
I'm saying I think organizationally they're going to want to make a point. And I think that Kawhi, him choosing not to join LeBron, I don't think he's just trying – I think they want to send a message in the regular season as well. I don't think it's just going to be all about the playoffs.
Kawhi doesn't care about regular season. If he cared, he wouldn't have sat out 22 games last year. So – that's like I said. I just don't think they're going to care about regular season. It's all about the playoffs, baby, or I should say, Bay Bay. And they're just going to rest. They're just going to make the playoffs. The only thing they're going to care about is they don't play each other earlier. They would rather play each other in the Western Conference Finals because the Battle of LA is going to be – that's going to be one great time. And I know a lot of people will be happy about it. I'll even be happy about it. I just want to see the best teams play each other, and I think we'll get that this year. It's a wide open. It's a wide open season, wide open NBA. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think anyone knows. It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited for it. I'm sure you're excited for it, Slim. I know you're excited for it, Jake. Well, I don't know about you, JT. You might still be in mourning. I don't know.
Well,
But what? What?
while we're on the topic of the West and the Lakers, do you guys think LeBron is the big magnet to bring people in as they thought he was?
Obviously not.
I would say yes, he is.
I disagree. I was gonna say he wasn't.
No, he definitely still is. It's just Kawhi's a different breed. I think it's just a different it was the wrong type of player. But he definitely still is. I mean, he still got AD. He still was able to bring a top 5 player into the fold. So I think obviously he still is. So, but that's just me. I mean, who am I? I'm just a great guy that knows. That's pretty much right. Has won every debate on this show. So,
Here's me knocking on wood that we don't get injuries this season, serious injuries to the top players, so that we can see these teams compete at the highest level as close to full strength as possible. Let me ask y'all a question. If in the next 2 seasons LeBron James is unsuccessful in securing another NBA championship, do you feel that would hurt his legacy?
You know what? That's a great question, and you should check out my next solo segment that's gonna drop on Monday because I have a lot to say about that. So I'm gonna defer to Ruffin because I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
Oh, for JT slowing it down for you, I got you. On our YouTube page, I got you. So I'll answer that then. You asked me, will that hurt LeBron's legacy if he doesn't win a championship, correct?
In the next 2 years.
In the next 2 years? No, it doesn't. It doesn't hurt LeBron's legacy only because I think his legacy is already set. I think no matter what what's he gonna? Is he gonna improve it? No. I mean, LeBron, no matter what, I would hope that we're all in agreement that he's a top 5 player ever. He's not going to drop down because he doesn't win in the next 2 years. And honestly, I think our minds are all set that even if he won a championship in the next 2 years, even if he wins the next 2, I don't think
how would it not improve his legacy?
If you let me finish.
Okay.
I don't think it would improve it that much because I personally have him at number 3 all time. I had him at number 2, and I thought about it, rethought about it, and I put him back to number 3. I put Kareem above him because Kareem does have 5 championships. So, and he has the better numbers. So I gave Kareem the edge. I thought Kareem was more of a dominant player also. So for me personally, it doesn't improve. Even if he wins the next 2, that doesn't improve it because I would probably still have Kareem above him. Kareem also has a better record against him. As far as in the finals, he has a better record. Even LeBron will be 5-6, so he'll have a losing record. Although he'll have the 11 finals appearances, I don't think that even though he wins 5, the fact that it took him so many attempts to even get there, I think that people are going to look at that as a negative either way. But it's still not going to drop him, but it's not going to improve him either. So for me, no, it's not going to. It doesn't make any difference. Now, if he was by himself without AD, I would say yes. But because he is with AD, and he's still going to have a stacked team either way, no, it doesn't.
Okay.
What about you, Slim?
I mean, I think it all depends if he were to lose, how they lose, because his team is pretty stacked. if, let's say, they go up against, whoever comes out of the East and the Lakers are favored and they were to lose, I think that definitely would hurt his legacy. I think if they don't make the finals, it would hurt because, you have a stacked team. Like, you started all this modern day super team movement. So now other teams are gearing up too. So you have to show Kawhi made a mistake by not joining you. You have to show that you were the person to team up with, for superstars out there that were trying to make their moves. And I don't think the Lakers, one way or the other, would care because, they're always going to be able to attract star talent. But, we'll see. And then there's the other thing. LeBron is going into what, season 16, 17?
Yep.
Last year was the first time he ever had a major injury and missed significant amount of time in his whole career. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. But at some point, LeBron isn't going to be LeBron. And, we've never seen somebody play at the level that he's able to play this long into their career. But how long is that going to last?
Well, see, that's my point. He's only going to get older. So even in 2 years, if he doesn't win a championship, I think you can factor in the fact that he's older, so his skill set is diminishing. We obviously don't know what's going to happen, but, that's got to contribute. How can someone, as they're getting older, even if they lose, how can that really be something that hurts them? If anything, you could say that kind of improves it, that at age, 35 or 36, whatever he is in 2 years, or 37, whatever he is in 2 years, if he's making the finals in that time period, if anything, that's a boost. If anything, I would at least look at it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a boost if they lose and they're favorites.
Well,
it's already happened to him.
I just don't think
but if it happens again,
no, I know. I'm just throwing it out there. He's already been the favorite and lost.
No, of course he's been the favorite several times, but at the same time, though, that was when he was in his prime. But
right.
his prime is. I'm not saying his prime is over, but at the same time, it's at the latter part of his career. I don't see how something at the latter part of their career can really bring someone down. Their legacy is pretty much set in stone once their prime is over for the most part. You're not going to fall or go higher from that point. The only way you can really do is go higher as you get older. That's the only thing. I don't see how it can drop. But, that's just me. I think no matter what, he's always going to be stuck at number 3. He can jump to number 2, though. I will say this. He can jump to number 2 if he not only wins the next 2 finals, but he continues his dominance over the league where he's, if he's still getting like 28, 7 and 7 the next 2 years or some shit, and he's showing his prime years and his prime extends longer than it should, I think that it's only going to improve. But if he doesn't make the finals, or if he makes the finals and he loses, it doesn't drop him out. That doesn't make anyone that he hasn't passed already better than him because he made the finals and lost. I'm sorry. That's just me, like I said. And I know JT is going to save his thoughts for his JT Flash Slowing It Down that you can find on our YouTube page. But that's going to be really interesting. I am curious about what he's going to say as a Laker fan, and I don't know if he's a LeBron fan. Doesn't sound like he is, but at the same time, it's kind of like he has to be because LeBron's on his team. So we'll see what he says. But I wanna end this by saying first to Darkslim, aka Mike Santana, I want to say thank you so much for joining us and being our very first guest of the Daddy Fino Flash podcast. You to me, I thought you were amazing. You gave great points, great arguments. You attacked JT, so that gives you an extra star right there.
You're right. I did attack Jason Tatum. You're right. I did.
Okay. You gotta be there. Whatever. Shut up, JT. That wasn't funny. Okay. But you did attack JT Flash. So like I said, you get extra stars for that. You know, is there anything you would like to say, Slim?
No, just appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all my boys. And, it's great to see your podcast do great things. And, anytime you guys feel like I contribute, I'm here.
We definitely appreciate that. Remember, guys, you can check out Darkslim on his own podcast, along with his two brothers. Well, I was gonna say brothers, but his two co-hosts on the Two Nerds and an Actor. Great podcast, like I said. Slim, before we go, do you want to just tell people about your podcast?
Yeah, sure. We have a podcast, Two Nerds and an Actor, as Ruff said, where we review, TV shows, movies, mostly of the nerdy sort of, biosphere, whatever you want to call it. We make predictions. We do reviews with spoilers, non-spoilers, spoilers, as we like to call them. And, we've been doing it for a few years. It's fun. It's me and my two best friends, French Jerome and Aisha Jordan. And, it's a lot of fun. Catch us on Spotify, on whatever the hell iTunes podcast thing is called now. I think it's just podcast. I don't know. And SoundCloud. And we have a YouTube video coming up soon with our reviews on Spider-Man Far From Home and Stranger Things Season 3.
Nice. I'm actually going to watch Spider-Man tomorrow morning, so I definitely can't wait for that. And I'm definitely going to tune into your show to see if you feel the same way I do. That's going to be pretty great. I'm hoping for amazing things. JT, you got any last words you want to say to the people, or to the Slim or anything?
I thanks Slim for coming on. I still think there was some outside collusion, but that's all right.
I can guarantee you there was not.
Conspiracy theories, am I right? But
okay, illusion. Okay,
it's okay. No, but thanks for coming on. That's all I got.
All right. Well, ladies and gents, that was another episode of the Daddy Fino Flash podcast. I'm Daddy Fino Bay Bay. He's JT Flash. We just gonna close it out on that. We love you guys. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Google Play Music, YouTube. Check out When the Real Gets Rough. JT slowing it down for you. All the videos are up there. Also, we got a review for UFC 239 that happened tonight. That's coming out tomorrow. I'm reviewing that. Some great fights on there, I'm pretty damn sure. So
one of those fights, spoiler. One of those fights ended in 5 seconds.
Okay. Wow. Thank you.
I didn't say which one. I didn't say which one.
Now I'm be expecting it when I watch it in a couple minutes. I have a feeling which one it was, though. But I did watch the first two fights. But anyway, I'm going to be reviewing that. Check it out in the review tomorrow. Anyway, like I said, this is the Daddy Fino Flash podcast. We out. We love you. Peace.